Assalamu alaikum, peace and blessings be upon you all. This is Gems of Faith and I'm Nihad. And I'm going to do part two of my Hajj experience, inshallah, today. I wanted to talk to you about when I first entered the masjid in Medina, mashallah, because it was before we went to Mecca, we went to Medina first for a few days. And I remember when the plane landed and then we made our way to our hotels. And I was staying with some lovely sisters. It was four of us in a room, and my husband was in a room with another four brothers. And we were getting ready, arrived really late in Medina, but we wanted to do our 2 rakat nafil in the masjid first. I can't remember what we did. It was Isha as well. I can't remember. But I remember the experience, subhanAllah. So as I was walking down and heading to the masjid, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mosque in Medina, I was obviously my husband is my mahram, so we were walking towards it together. And there was a men's section and then there was a women's section. And I remember first of all walking towards it, taking those footsteps towards the gates of the masjid, and I remember shaking and my heart was pounding and I was emotional. Every step I took, I kept thinking to myself, these are the steps our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam took. And I also kept feeling, I don't know, overwhelmed. Even overwhelmed isn't the word. It was greater than that, and it's hard for me to put it in words. I've been trying for a few days to try and express the feeling, but it just doesn't come out. I remember when I stepped foot inside the grounds of, subhanallah, of the masjid, and as soon as I walked in, there was this amazing feeling, that Nihad is here. I've been given the opportunity to walk the footsteps of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I remember the Idhan, the call of prayer started, and my husband made his way to the men's section, and I made my way to the women's section. And subhanallah, when I was getting in the row to do my salah, and it was the evening time, but as soon as I got into the position and I did my intention, I looked up at the sky, subhanallah, and all I could see was, it's like a canopy, beautiful canopy. And I just started crying even before my salah started. The overwhelming feeling that, how merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, that He invites us to one of the best places on earth. And I went down and started doing my salah, and throughout the whole salah I was just in tears. I was touching the ground, I was walking on the ground that the beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had once walked on. And after my salah, I kept looking to my left, looking to my right, even my right and my left, and I kept thinking to myself, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I'm here. SubhanAllah, so we spent a few days there, and then I remember my first visit to the Rawda. And I remember, overhearing some sisters that were getting ready to go to the Rawda, even though we went with a brilliant group. I didn't know anyone from there. And as good as I am talking, I'm not as good at making friends so quickly. So I remember my husband went to the road actually, and I know he doesn't mind me saying this. I was waiting outside the men's section for him to come out first. We always had mobiles to keep in contact, but my battery was running low, and I knew I needed to save it for when I went into the Rawda. So what happened was he went in, and within, I think it was about 45 minutes of being in, he came out. And I remember him looking at his phone, and I was like, and he was smiling, and I said, what's wrong? Not what's wrong, why he was smiling, but I'm not it's hard to explain, but the smile on his face, I've never seen it before. And he was like, I broke my phone. And I was like, and you're smiling about that? He said, no, I broke my phone. That didn't matter. But he was saying I've been there before. And I was like, sorry? He goes, I've been in the Rhoda before. I was like, no, but you haven't. You've never done Umrah. You've never done Hajj. How could you? And he's like, I don't know. All I know is that I've been there before. So I was excited and nervous to go to the Rhoda. And um, I thought it would be a 45-minute thing as well. But then I made my way and he was like, make sure you call me. And this is the gate number that you'll find me at. And I was like, okay, inshallah. I remember making my way to the Rhoda and I saw like thousands of sisters walking, rushing towards the gate to get in. I remember they put you in sections, so you've got the Arabic section, the Arab section, the Asian section, the European section, and I was like, well, where do I fit? I know I'm British, but where I'm just looking around to see where I'd fit in, and my eye always, for some reason, subhanallah, and you'll see later on, why I kept looking at this particular woman. So I realised she sat in the Arab section. So I thought, well, I'm Arab. So I went and sat beside her. And I was crying because I wanted to say my salam to Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I wanted to go to see the Rawdah, but I was on my own and I heard stories that it could be quite dangerous if you go on your own. And I was thinking, I have no one. I'm literally on my own. So sitting there making dua and saying to Allah, making dua to Allah that I want to go in and say my salam, but I'm scared. I don't want any, I don't want anything to happen to me. I was nervous. I remember turning around to this sister that I said that I kept looking at, and I didn't know what kind of language she spoke. I know she's sitting in the Arab section, but it was very confusing because you still had some non-Arabs in there. So I turned around and I said, Assalamu alaikum, sister. And she went, wa alaikum assalam. And I said to her in Arabic, بتكلمي عربي? Do you speak Arabic even? And she went, yes, I do. And she started talking to me, and I said, I really want to go and say my salam and visit the Rhoda, but I'm scared. And she held my hand, subhanallah, and she said, well, don't be. I said, is it okay if you come with me? And she said, of course. And she was sitting there telling me stories, subhanallah, and the stories she was telling me were amazing. She was telling me how she left her kids behind and she sleeps on the grounds of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's mosque, and all she does is dream to see the Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and the love that she had for the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was phenomenal, was amazing. She was talking about him like she had met him. She's talking about him like, she kept telling me that if you don't love the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you can never be considered as a Muslim. And I don't know, and it was the way she said it. The love was amazing. I put my hand on my cheek and I was just listening to her throughout the whole wait, and I didn't realise like 4 hours had already gone by and I had not even called my husband, subhanallah. And she was like, when you get to the gate of the Rhoda, when you get into the doors, there's going to be a rush. Try and pray 2 rak'at there on the grounds. And I was like, well, how are you going to do that? Because unfortunately, there's sisters that forget where they are. And that's where it can become a bit hard to do what you're supposed to do there. And there's some sisters that just wait and wait for others to do their bit first, do their salah and then go. So she was like, don't worry, you'll do it. And I said, but sister, it's how can I mean, look, and you could see just crowds of women running through, and there was me just walking very slowly, just like go. But I knew I needed to do my bit, because otherwise I'd be behind in the queue, until the next day. So I remember walking in and she was like, just send your salam, and I was like, inshallah. I remember as I was going in and we were heading towards the Rhoda, and you've got like a green carpet, and she was like, remember the green carpet? And I was like, okay. Because subhanAllah, as much as I trained to do Hajj, I did not, the truth is I did not study the road at all. So I didn't know what the importance of that area was. And but she was explaining to me that if you were to pray there, then it's like a taste of Jannah, inshallah, and you get rewarded for it. And I thought, okay, I haven't got time to know whether it's right or not, but all I have, I don't want to miss out on on a big opportunity. So I remember all of a sudden, subhanallah, as we're walking in, we got to, I was like, I can see that I'm standing on the green carpet, but there's no way I can actually get down in ruku or sujood. There's no way. But within seconds, the sister ended up making like enough room for me to pray. And I was kind of in shock, like, how did she do that? And she was like, do your 2 rakat nafil. And I was like, sorry? She's like, do your 2 rakat nafil now. So I remember just going, okay. And I went down. And every step I did that, I was in tears. In tears, like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent me this sister for a reason. There was no way I could have done it without her. So I did my 2 rakat nafil and I walked around the corner. She took me out. And then she said to me, I want you to show you some of the Sahaba's graves. Have you ever seen it? And I remember thinking to myself, no. She's like, well, come with me and I'll show you. And I said, but I must contact my husband because my phone is dead and he's going to be waiting for me. She said to me, hurry, because it's getting late, and then I'll take you. I said, okay, please don't go. And I remember coming out of the Rauda, out of the masjid doors, the mosque doors, and I was running to the gate. And subhanAllah, if you've ever been to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mosque, every gate looks the same, and there's hundreds of gates. And I was running and looking and it was raining at the time. Subhanallah, it was raining, and I remember a sister saying, "Make dua in the rain." So there's me running and looking at every gate, thinking, "No, that's not it. That's not it." I didn't realize I was running for 45 minutes. I got to the door and the gate that my husband was waiting at, and he said, "You've been ages." I didn't realize it'd already gone nearly 7 hours. I was telling him how busy it was, and I said, "Listen, there's a sister waiting for me, and I want to go and see the Sahabas of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam." And he's like, "Well, come on, I'm not going to leave you. I'll come with you." And I remember running all the way back to the gate, which took me, I didn't realize, like 45 minutes again. And the lady had gone, subhanallah. So I felt like I missed a big opportunity, but at the same time it was Qadar Allah and I wasn't meant to go for whatever reason. But I never saw that sister again, where even though it's very busy in Medina, you always see the same face. With this sister I never saw again. But the du'ats that I have in my heart for her, it's amazing. It's like, if there isn't really a dua, when I do my salah, there isn't a dua that I don't remember her. The impact she had, the stories that she told me, and it's not something I can just sit here and tell you on video. It's because I think it's something that I would have to sit and talk to you in person, inshallah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends you the most beautiful people to help you. Like I tell you, I was scared. I'm not scared of a lot of things, but I was scared. There's something that I wanted to do desperately, but I was nervous because I was on my own. I knew that one person going through to the road, there's no chance of coming out as you did going in. That's how I felt anyway. But subhanAllah, 2 days later, some sisters wanted to go to the road for the first time, and I thought, well, I've done it now, inshallah, so I'll take them. So I remember going in with about 4 sisters. I said, don't worry, I'll take you and I'll show you what to do. Because subhanAllah, if I didn't meet the sister previously, there would be no way I would know what I was doing. I went in, and they say if you pray right to the wall of the Rauda, where before with the sister before I prayed at the back, and I went in, and it was subhanallah. I got to the front with as many sisters as there was the 2 days previous, and I was at the back. I ended up being at the front, subhanAllah. And I remember just saying to sisters, you pray first, because I knew I'd done it before. Like, you pray for it first. Even whether there was even if, you know, paradise isn't guaranteed, praying on the green ground, Allahu Alam. All I know is there is an overwhelming feeling in there, subhanAllah. You know, it's where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was is buried, so it's not a light thing to. It's a big thing to take, subhanAllah. Just being that close, it's amazing. Um, and it was just easy going in and going out, subhanAllah. But I would never been able to take those sisters in if I never met the sister before. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward her and give her Jannatul Firdaus, and give her kids that are pious, inshallah, and that follow the deen and the love that she has in her heart for the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just like she has. And I'm going to stop here for today, and I hope you enjoyed part 2 of my Hajj experience, inshallah. I will follow up with the rest of it, part 3, next week, inshallah. Um, and again, for those that are going to do Hajj, inshallah, again, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your Hajj. And for those that have made the intention and for whatever reason they're not going, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your intention. I hope whatever you ask for in Hajj is accepted, inshallah. And please remember me and my family in your du'as, and my friends, inshallah. And I'll tune in again next week. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings be upon you all. Bye for now.